And could you just put that on that mic stand if you don't mind, please, Ajay, past district governor Ajay. We have with us Mohammed Kaman, retired Mohammed Kaman, who is the ICC Executive Council Chair. May I ask you a question, sir? Yes, would you like to go to the mic if you don't mind? It's a very specific question for you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Does the involvement of Rotarians in the inter-country committees help in membership retention?
Yes. Yes. Inter-country committee, like you know, bring together districts, countries, clubs, Rotarians, Rotaractors with particular interest in the relationship between two countries and two or more districts. The Inter-country committee, with their simple and flexible structure, have built bridges of friendship. They have expanded Rotary's service and carried out wide-ranging actions in Rotary priority areas of action, particularly in the search of peace. We strongly believe in the quote from Paul Harris, who already said, Rotary is a miniature world of peace that countries can study to their advantage. Rotarians believe that it is through tolerance and friendship that we will achieve world peace. Finish. We are acting for peace and now for positive peace. And we are very sensitive to the interest that Rotarians throughout the world have in this notion of peace and in the international dimension of Rotary. We have seen a rapid development of inter-country countries over the past 2 years after COVID. And we are currently growing to 750 ICC over the world, around the world in more than 120 countries and spanning all continents. ICCs contribute to membership, development, and member rotation in different ways. Already in the 1990s, the fall of the communist regime led to the birth of revival of Rotary in Central Europe. It is safe to say that without the ICCs, the expansion of Rotary in Poland, Ukraine, Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, and the Baltic countries have been slower. To cite just one example, the France-Russia ICC has enabled to sponsoring and creating of 12 Rotary clubs. But currently, what additional things do we bring to Rotary clubs to develop membership and to stabilize their members? First, a permanent reminder of the international dimension of the Rotary and our possibilities to act in this area. We note that the members, especially the youngest, believe
Mohammed, if you like, we can take this up after the session too.
The younger believe a lot in this notion which does not find its space.
Just let him finish. It'll take a minute or so. Yeah.
I continue.
If you can just the
Yes,
people waiting
yes,
behind you.
yes,
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 thank you. Just sum it up if you don't mind.
I resume.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. We well recognize that this notion of is unifying and important in club culture and allows the stabilization of members. We also believe that ICCs help to bring values, particularly to younger members, in terms of cultural understanding and between peoples. It is a notion that is of great interest to Rotarians and unites them.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank
You
you.
got people waiting. I'm sorry to continue to stay there. Thank you very much. Let me have the next person, please. You can identify yourself, sir.
Sure. My name is Chris Zabriskie. I'm from the Rotary Club of Charles County, Maryland, United States.
Hi.
Rodney Dangerfield, an American comedian, said, "I wouldn't want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member." While that's not the case with Rotary, what advice do you have for us to balance our desire to be welcoming, inclusive, and grow Rotary, but still keep the Rotary experience as something special and to be sought after?
Tell me what to take that.
Okay, just turn around. How happy are you in Rotary?
I'm very happy.
That answers your question. You need to be happy. We are not making rockets here. Rotary is not about rocket science. Rotary is a language of love and pleasure. It's all about love. Rotary is a love story. You need to look after each other. We are the smile creators of the world. We don't make rockets. We make the world a better place to live in. We make it a beautiful place. So each one of you is an angel of giving and a smile creator. I think moment you're happy with yourself and moment you try to, when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth, ask yourself, I'm going to bring smile to one person's face today in the morning or today in the whole day. Are you all going to do that?
Yes.
And then you'll see, imagine 1.2 million smile creators across the world, and I wouldn't say 1.2, it will be 4 million because each family approximately 4 people. So 4 million smile creators, and that's how we're going to make the world happy, and that's how we're going to make ourselves happy and our clubs happy. Does that answer your question? No?
No, that wasn't his question.
What was his question?
His question was how do we be inclusive but also keep Rotary as something that's special? So not limiting our members, but we are a club that is an exclusive club. How do you be inclusive and exclusive at the same time?
Fantastic. You'll be inclusive by involving your members and making sure everyone is happy in your club. That's inclusive. Exclusive is by creating smiles, by making the world a better place to live in. And that's how things work, right? Does that answer? Okay.
Next, please.
Hello, my name is Shannon Hackley, and I am a proud member of the Oakland Club in California, the third oldest club in the world. And I'm becoming president. Nice to see everybody.
Congratulations.
And I, after being in Rotary for 36 years, to see that the skit is still alive. It's amazing, and it did put a big smile on my face. Thank you, that was fun. My question was for you, sir. When you said you split up your club into teams,
Right.
and they're multi-generational teams, how many are in each pod?
We have 90 members, so
90?
plus 92 or 93. So basically we divide equally.
How many teams?
So 12 teams, 12 months for each year, so we make 12 teams for every year. And every year it rotates with the new leadership. So that's where we do. But if you have less numbers, like maybe say 50 or 60.
We have 300.
Oh my God.
That's what I was asking.
So at that point of time, you can make an event or a project specific team, you know?
I'll ask a younger member for an algorithm.
That's a good one. Thank you. Next, please.
Dan Jornstead here from the Rotary Club of San Francisco, number 2. We have about 136 members at this time. The burden on the membership chairperson is big. And so, for instance, if we were to organize teams, which I think is a wonderful idea, or if we were to focus on having a session where you create job descriptions and so forth, it becomes very, very hard for that membership chairperson to do everything. So how do you structure your membership teams? the vice president of membership, how did they do things?
Can I answer that? So I'm from the Rotary Club Bombay, which is the 14th oldest club in the world. We have 365 members. And till classification lost its relevance, more or less, we used to have three committees. A membership committee, a classifications committee, and an information committee. So once the classification and membership committee approved a membership, before the member was asked to pay his dues or her dues, the information committee imparted information to the prospective member on the club and about Rotary in general, and in turn asked them what they were expecting from the club. And that session would last about an hour, and in fact, it would be in batches of 3 or 4 new members so that, the committee wasn't taxed. And there was a committee of 3 or 4 members always. It's not that one person was responsible always. They would divide it in turn by turn and conduct these classes. And that worked like beautifully because before they actually joined the club, they knew what to expect and what they could get out of the club. That's how we did it.
And you still do that now?
We still do that.
So
but of course,
information committee.
Information committee. We call that.
Thank you. That's great.
Hello, I'm Joe Garalka, and I'm actually also with the Oakland number 3 club, so you get bombarded by the second and third oldest Rotary clubs. But I do have a question for you, and as an accountant, I kind of analyze things. And I do agree orientation is very important to get people engaged. And I like your practical tip about breaking into pods. My question is, there are areas in the world where membership is growing. There are areas in the world where membership is not growing. Has Rotary done some comparative studies to see what is different between the two areas and what processes are working better in countries that are growing that we might learn from?
Katrina, would you like to?
Yes, we launch now regional adaptability research. So in each zone, the director of the zone is making special research even within the zone, how to face all these problems that you mentioned. Because without regional adaptability, we cannot have a global, approach. Only. We must see what is happening locally, and that's the most important thing. And you are very, very much oriented to this direction right now.
Right. Are there some studies though that we can look at that come?
It's we have the 2 pilot districts, and then when the pilot ends, we'll show the results.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Let me just add to what Katrina said. At the membership committee, we analyze everything, and you see the countries which where there is more hands-on service, the membership is rising. Right? So it's extremely important that you identify needs in your community. There are needs in every community. You identify it because Rotarians are called people of action. When you are people of action on the ground level, people recognize it. She spoke about Ukraine. Can you imagine in the wartime we didn't lose, we increased membership because people identified Rotarians as dependable, people who lend a hand. And so that's why I think it's important that you identify a service opportunity in your streets or in your town or in your city, wherever you are. Identify that and address that. That would probably give the much impetus we need in membership.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you. Vinod, before you ask the question, you've finally broken the struggle with the US. Only the US got last question. We have one from Mumbai, India. But before that, we have with us Passport International Director Manish Gopagi. Manish, would you like to go to the mic and we can ask you this question? And we're going to make it tough because you're from our home area. So you were, sorry, go ahead.
First of all, it's not a planned game. He's not telling me the question to ask.
No, I haven't, yeah. So, you were director when Rotary International, Passport International President Shekhar Mehta was International President of Rotary. And he came up with this mantra, each one brings one, right? How was the retention rate during that period?
The retention depends on the involvement of a Rotarian. So, it's whether you accept a model of making committees per month or per week. Most important is a person who joins the organization like Rotary, he likes to get involved. The moment you don't give him anything to work, think, or do a volunteerism, he feels absolutely, unfit in the organization. And very sad part in the past, we have 1.2 million Rotarians today, and we are struggling on that. But we also have lost more than 1.2 Rotarians who had joined us earlier. So I think here, the caption today, what you said, the new member, I want to address to the entire assembly again. When we say new member, it's not necessarily the young new member, but it's in spite of his age. He can be 27 or he can be 67, but he's a new member. So each one bring one. I think that philosophy worked absolutely like a magic, more magically than the skit. And but the magic invariably fails when the real magician goes from the chair and we all become, the owners of it, where we don't involve them. So the entire message is please involve everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahesh. Very good answer. Go ahead, Vinod. Identify yourself, please.
I'm Lieutenant Vinod Thakkar from Rotary Club Mumbai Daisar, District 3141, India. I'm into Rotary since 1995. When first time I heard the total membership of Rotary was 1.2 million. I have inducted every year minimum one member in my club. And to other clubs, total today, yesterday also, I have inducted 94 members into Rotary.
Wow.
I love Rotary. It's an amazing organization. I don't see any reason why somebody don't come to Rotary. So my question to all of you is, since last 3 decades, we have added more 50 countries, more than 11,000 new clubs, but still we couldn't cross 1.2 million. Which are the most 3 top reasons according to you? Why?
I'll let Kamal answer that.
Right, fantastic question. Yes, you're right. We've added 1.2 and we've lost 1.2 for a period of time. Okay. Now, the answer is very, very simple. Getting new members is not very difficult for us. If 1.2 are joining, it's not very difficult. We are attracting new members. The biggest problem is the bucket is leaking. You need to plug that bucket. And the 3 biggest reasons I spoke about it today: priced out, worked out, and less involvement. It is extremely important that we make the club. Today, a study says that the club experience is the most important part of a club meeting today. You need to make your club experience very very fruitful for each and every club member. Moment you have that, and most of the Rotarians are leaving because of the club experience. I think it's extremely important that when you have a mix of the club, the Rotarians identify, understand your strengths and weaknesses and work on it in your club level and make the experience which is good for each and every Rotarian. You can have programs for every member, maybe groups of members. If you're talking about the younger, you're talking about the mid, you're talking about the old, you're talking about probably golfers, or probably talking about there are chartered accountants, there are professionals. Make your program which excites everybody. And that's the biggest reason which you said is the club experience.
Thank you, Kamal. Last 2 questions, please, and then we'll have a summing up. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Ghanshyam Das, President Rotary Club of Bokaro City, District 3250, India. This year I started with 73 members, and we have inducted 7 more members, in which 3 members are young members in the age group of 20 to 30, and 3 lady members in the age group of 40 to 50. I am finding that the lady members in the age group of 40 to 50, they are regularly coming and attending our meeting. The young members, which are in the age group of 20 to 30, initially they were very enthusiastic and thrilled, but over the period I am finding they lose the interest, and they are not very well mixing with our senior Rotarians or other. They are finding alone and finding bored. So can you suggest me what should we do that these young members we are able to sustain them?
So, Ghanshyam, let me put it the other way. Maybe the senior members are not mixing with the younger members, and not the other way around. I think you have to be more welcoming to newer members rather than the other way around. They are out of place right now. They don't feel belong. They don't feel a sense of belonging to the club as yet. And that's why you and other senior members have to make a special effort to assimilate them in the club and make them feel welcome. And of course, what is very important is add more members in that age group so that they can feel a little more homogeneous in the club rather than stick out like a sore thumb. I think that those two things will go a long way.
Thank you. Hi, from the Rotary Club of San Francisco, President-elect Bob Herman here, and it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you to the panel today. I really like some of the words Katrina spoke about today, reinventing the way we operate. For the Rotary Club of San Francisco, I'm about to launch an evening meeting. This is the first time since 1908, since we were founded, that we're going to do an evening meeting. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I think it's the way to attract younger members. And as we learned today, there are different ways of doing it to help keep costs down, but to attract the club. And I also enjoy the old with the new, blending the old with the new. My question is twofold. One is, I know Rotary is always big upon establishing new clubs. But we have 14 clubs in San Francisco, and many of those clubs have less than 20 members per club. We are a club with 135 members, and I would love to see some of those clubs that have 8 members or 4 members or 15 members merge with our club or join our club. Because you know what? The one thing that I've learned with Rotary is the empowerment of working together. So I'd love to hear you opine a little bit about clubs that have very few members, less than 20 members. What's the viability of that for Rotary?
Except, again, you come to the regional adaptability. I believe in certain places, in certain countries, we should merge those clubs. In our part of the world, for instance, the average size of a club is 25 members. 25 is considered as a medium club. So everything, again, comes to regional adaptability. It depends on what works best in your case and what is best in another part of the world. So if in your case, in your region, small clubs are not effective, it's better to merge them. Why not? Rotary is offering a lot of flexibility now on how we operate. But of course, you have to consider the local parameters before taking a decision.
Thank you, Katrina.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Sorry, can you speak up a bit, please?
I didn't understand the last statement. What did you mean by parameters?
I mean the local conjuncture in your city, in your part of the world. I mean, what's going on and what's best for you.
So, for example, Bob, when I was governor last year, there were clubs, a few clubs in my district. We have 115 clubs, who are 20 or less, and I tried my best to merge them, and they said our cultures don't match. In a city like Mumbai, a club with 20 members or less has no financial viability. They can't get good speakers, they can't get good venues, they can't do anything, of substance. But they just wouldn't listen. They were very cussed, and they said our cultures don't match. And beyond a point, you can't really do anything except try and improve them. So what she means by parameters, it differs from country to country and area to area, what the thinking is. So that's how it will work. Well, thank you. We come to the conclusion, and now I invite Katerina to sum up.
I'll be very brief. We heard a lot of wonderful things today, and thank you for your interaction. We heard how diverse, equitable, and inclusive culture will create environments of peace, free of harassment in a club, and enhance the growth of membership and retention. We heard about the importance of service, the age grouping of members, and how we can bridge the gap between the old and the young generations. How important is the orientation of new members, and how we can engage new members, and how we can really create an inspirational club experience. Thank you so much for your attention. We hope you enjoyed our session, and let us stay connected.
I invite Kamal to give his remarks, closing remarks, please.
All right, so I want to raise your hands again. Each one of you has had a new member shortly in your club, maybe a year back or maybe currently. How many of you have invited a new member into your house for a cup of tea. So that's fantastic. So now what I see was in a house of about 200 people, only 20 raised hands. So what I want you to go back, and I want you to go back, we are talking about retention and bringing onboarding the new member. I want them to be welcomed. I want each one of you to open your arms to your new members, open your hearts, open your minds. Go back to your towns, to your clubs, invite these new members, invite them home, take them out for a cup of coffee, discuss what they want, what they are expecting from your club, and then you will see we'll all rock on, all right? So thank you very much for coming in. The new mantra today is, we go one, we go, each one bring one, and each one retain one. Are we going to do that? Each one bring one, and each one retain one. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session, and we hope to see you soon.